And the cat...
I hope you're not recording, because this is going to be trash. Like, actual trash.
Primarily Critical. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primarily Critical. If movies had an after party, this would be it.
If you haven't seen this film, we suggest that you do so before listening any further.
We've got spoilers, trivia, and opinions like crazy, and we can't wait to share them with you.
Good, bad, new, old, weird, or gross.
We pass judgment on them all.
Today, when fleeing criminals, you should always pull down your pants and hide in the closet. My name is Steve. I'm here with...
Brittany.
And...
Ed.
Two new faces. We're covering Game Over Man, and this is Brittany's pick.
Oh, it was your pick. Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
How do you feel about your pick?
I am so excited. I've watched this movie like 5 times.
Really?
Yes.
You don't feel as though you've hurt me in any way?
No.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this.
I'm ready.
Who in the movie did you like?
What? Like, who did
Like
that?
as a person? Did you,
Oh my God, all of
who did you
them.
want to hang your hat on?
I would say I would start with Alex with 3 X's, because he's one of my favorite characters always.
Okay.
Like, I love him.
Ed, how did you feel about Alex with 3 X's?
First of all, as a character, spelling his name with 3 X's was the perfect sort of match for him, because it's such a douchey way of spelling anything, right? So the fact that he spells his name, it works well with him as a character. Mm-hmm. And the actor, Adam Devine, I think is great. Absolutely great. And pretty much everything I've seen him in up until this, I've really, really enjoyed. So, like you know this, I'm not sure if you know this, but Pitch Perfect, actually, the Pitch Perfect series, with the exception of maybe the last one, is one of my favorite sort of movies.
Did not know that.
One of my favorites. So I was really, really excited because I know him and what are the names of his actors? Anders and Blake both work on Workaholics. Yeah,
I love that show so much.
And that's what I thought this was going to be a bit more like.
Did you not think that they all sort of stayed true to their like workaholic characters though?
I thought maybe because they could get away with more in this.
Yeah, like they had a budget.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the budget that I had an issue with. It was like,
I'm shocked right now.
I'm not a huge fan of like gross out humor.
Oh.
And I just thought there was a lot of that and a lot of sort of like, this is going to be a lot of shocking equals funny, and I don't find that to be the case a lot of times. I think surprising equals funny, but I don't think shocking equals funny. I've gone away from your question originally.
I've never seen Workaholics.
What, Steve?
Yes.
Oh man, solid. It's solid.
We're talking about Game Over Man. Now, so you like Alex as a character. You like Alex because of his name.
I like the way he spelled his name, but I mean, I think he did a good job of playing that character.
Yeah,
but I don't think you're supposed to like that character.
No, I don't think.
No.
I think you're supposed to just laugh at him and make fun of him later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even in the end, when it was supposed to be like his, not to jump ahead, well, spoilers like crazy, right?
We did say that at the beginning.
I don't even mind it if someone has like a journey and then gets somewhere in the end, and then they're like, maybe not like completely likable, but I just don't think he didn't learn anything during this entire movie. And it's not like this is supposed to be like a deep sort of like thought piece or anything like that.
This is a deep movie.
But I was kind of expecting some growth with him.
But he sort of did though. Like, as going back to spoilers, like when the guy beats them up with the rock in the spa, like he did save them, and he did it selflessly, right? So he did grow.
He was saving himself.
Well, yeah, but his friends too.
We interpret that differently.
Really?
Because the entire, like, every single thing that he does prior to that, it's always like, I'm going to act this way because a loser or a pussy would act this way. So I just saw it as him, once again, like, it took his fault, one of his major faults, and in that one instant, it actually worked for him. Because instead of it, like, him being like, I'm going to save the group, it's just like, no, this is how, like, a pussy would act. I'm going to act the way that you're supposed to act in this situation, even though there's literally only one person he's trying to impress in the room, which is the guy beating them all to death. Yes. So that's how I saw it. I didn't see it as growth. I saw it as his flaw saved the day in that particular instance.
But he grew as a He's like the Grinch. His heart grew 5 times or whatever it is.
I think when he started to realize what he was in the group, and he was told that he basically helps inspire. He's almost like the what did they used to have in some of those groups, like in
Muse,
hype man. He's basically sort of like the hype man,
mm-hmm.
but he was so selfish that I think in the end when he realized I can be the hype man for the group, then I do admit that he does grow a little bit there. But that's not the instance where I thought he grew. I thought he grew a little bit later in the movie. So
best death.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh.
There was a lot of good ones.
I don't know if this counts as a death, but I like the zombie, the robot
but
zombie.
that wasn't a death though.
And they had rocks in his hands, and
But that
spinning
was
around. He was killing
amazing.
people.
How did that not sell this whole movie for you, Ed? I'm shocked right now.
It was so.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay, what about? Okay, I didn't let you answer.
I think I really liked the one where they came through the window and the guy got like, well, no, maybe
The
the
guy
guy's,
with his face
but
sandwiched
maybe
in
the
the-
guy's boyfriend when he breaks his neck in the hotel room, because I wasn't expecting that.
You weren't
actually.
expecting that?
I wasn't expecting it. Caught me off guard.
Did you think they were going to beat him in a fight?
I thought they were going to shoot him. Like, I thought it was going to come down to, like, one of them would pick up the gun. I didn't think he was going to break his face and his neck.
His neck was gonna snap.
I enjoyed that.
Did you see the boyfriend being alive coming?
Like, no, I guess I
'Cause he
wasn't
hit him
really
twice with a
thinking
lamp.
about it. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's like-
and it's like instantly he's like, no checking of the pulse, just looking over and being
Right.
like,
And that's like the first rule of a movie is make sure the bad guy's dead.
Yeah,
And
2 in
they
the head,
never
you know
do.
he's dead, right?
But he did hit him a couple times in the
yes.
head. but
People in
not
this movie,
enough.
a lot of them are very resilient.
They're way stronger
Yes,
than I would
yeah.
ever be. Absolutely.
But are you going to ask me my favorite death?
Yeah.
Probably the one guy who had his head exploded when you thought the dog was going to
That's right. Oh, that was good.
because they have
that was a good one.
in the movie they have these collars that they put around in the hostages. Because it's sort of like it's a take on Die Hard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
I
huge
have
take
a
on Die
comment
Hard.
about that after.
And so these people like come in and they take over the building, and then they put the collars in order to like keep everyone in line. They put the collars around the necks, which are basically like the explosive collars in Running Man, I think, had something similar.
Oh, yeah.
Suicide Squad to a certain degree, more so in the comic books than in the movie, though the movie was whatever. And if they go past a certain perimeter, their head explodes.
Yeah.
And so the dog, that was strapped, there's a little tiny rat dog, and it was strapped with the same sort of explosive. And then he took like the detonator thing, and the whole thing was he was going to blow up the dog because he's going to show he's a mean fellow.
He's a big, mean guy.
Only each one of these little devices were numbered, and so he put 6 on the dog, and then the guy handed him the detonator, which
9.
he thought was 6, but it ended up being for 9 because it was upside down. So then this other guy his head just randomly explodes, and you think. And the worst part is I think most people who watch that movie felt relief. That's why I thought it was kind of an interesting death, because I was like, oh, thank God, only a human died, not an actual.
And then they killed the dog, though.
And then they killed the dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was actually probably my second favorite death, because that was kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I didn't actually think they would kill the dog.
No.
The rat puppy.
Yeah.
Rat puppy. Yeah, that was good. So I think that this is probably the movie that these guys have wanted to make for their entire life, and they finally got the budget to make it.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna get roasted for this, and I realize that I've never seen Die Hard, any of them, but from what I understand, this is very like Die Hard-esque. Like they really took a lot of inspiration from that, and I think that this was a movie that they've probably wanted to make since they were little kids and like dreamed of making and starring in, and they finally had the money to do it.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
yeah,
I would agree with
so.
that, but I come at it from a slightly different way. And I 100% agree with you, but what sort of sold it to me as that being their sort of dream was I don't think they really upgraded a lot of the jokes in their head beyond when they were possibly kids coming up with this idea.
Yeah, no,
because
probably not.
this is a movie, and I feel so bad because everything I say that's negative about this movie, I don't want it to be like as an insult to you because you picked the movie, you like the movie.
But I love it. I'm not going to be mad.
This is a movie I think I would have enjoyed a lot more in high school. because
Really?
it just like there was different types of movies. Like in high school, I think I would have really loved this movie, and then there was like in university, I went through my independent film phase and all that stuff. And both of those types of movies, though there are still some good independent films, some good sort of like crass humor movies as well too. But both of those, I don't enjoy as much as I did back then.
Really?
And the humor I enjoy now has less to do with gross out humor, which I found that like there's so much of that in this movie.
But it's great, though.
And
Ed, you're really letting me down
what
right
I don't
now.
know-
I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed.
Okay, I have another question. Okay, so we have a butt munching scene.
Oh, God.
But Bayawati, do you think Bayawati was with those guys in the beginning, inspired by the movie? They wanted to go and make this movie, and he wanted to be in the scene.
I think that guy, every like role that I've seen, I haven't seen him in that many, but like when he was in the Mindy Project, he was in that, and he was like Mindy's brother, and he was sort of like a very like flighty university student like that. So I think he probably maybe is just like that, and he probably saw that and was like, yeah, I'll do that. Like,
Really?
I'll eat someone's ass, sure.
I think there are a lot of like comedic
didn't-
actors or comedians in general who, if as long as they think it's going to be funny,
Yeah.
they're game for
They'll
it.
do
Like
it.
they're fearless, absolutely fearless. So
Yeah.
that, even though that was one of the like, I consider that one of the gross out scenes because that scene went on forever. I actually like, I have no problem with that scene as far as like from the action, because I even thought of that as well too. Because obviously it was a prosthetic butt. I am assuming that was like
Oh, of
a
course.
prosthetic
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
So.
He seemed pretty happy. I don't know.
But I give him a lot of credit for that because that's gotta be like you read that and you're like, I'm still on board for this.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't have been like the day of. They're like, oh, we've made some revisions.
Yeah. Oh, by the way.
Yeah. So
We've had some thoughts.
Yeah.
this is what you'll be doing now. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it shows his commitment to the material, and I think that's one of the things I did like about this is everyone seemed to be all in on this movie.
They were.
Yeah, there was.
That's what's great. I don't know, even in like, I don't want to go back to Workaholics, but they've always had cameos from people that you're like, why do you even know these people?
Yeah.
And so I think everybody was probably just excited to do something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just that I
can't believe that you have this many
because I find
opinions about this.
Workaholics to be really clever, whereas this, it was like most of the time I either saw what was coming, or when it was happening, I was like, okay, no, yeah, that's on par with the rest of the movie.
Did you expect the belt scene? Like
The second he went like that, yes,
I didn't.
yeah,
I did not expect that. I
Wait,
thought,
what was the belt scene?
in the closet, the autoerotic.
Oh, yes.
asphyxiation.
I started
Yeah.
with that.
okay,
Yeah.
when I was not expecting that at all. And
I
when,
wasn't expecting
when that guy opened the closet door, I scream laughed so hard that I had to pause it and go back after because I was laughing. So I was not expecting, first of all, his soft dick in his hand and for him to be hanging in a closet. None of that was expected for me.
To be fair, it's entirely possible that I did see that. Part of that alluded in a trailer or something like that.
Oh.
But when I actually, because it was, so I've heard about this movie forever. I just never had any ever intention of seeing it, except when it came to this, where
Until
it was
we're
now
gonna
required
review this
viewing.
movie.
It was required viewing. Yeah.
But that's a perfect example of something where it's like, I think the idea of, because there's a lot of full frontal nudity in this in this movie, and I think that was sort of set the tone for it. These guys really think that the longer that goes on for, the funnier it is. Whereas I thought
I agree.
the initial view of it, it was like, oh, okay, I can see doing the initial view of it to sort of really hammer the joke. But just, it went on way
great.
too long, and it could have been shot, and that was a choice. Obviously that was a choice, because it could have been shot in so many different ways.
I actually saw an interview where they were talking about part of that in particular, and he was saying that they were like, what is the worst thing that you guys had to do or something like that, and he said he thought that it was the best that he made them look at his dick for an entire day. Like, it took them a day to film that, and he had no pants on like the whole day. That's commitment. He
Yeah,
committed
once
to
again,
it, and I appreciate that so much.
Makes me respect him and his craft, because they went all in on that. Like, he went all in on that, and he was like bending over as well too, and it
he
was
shook
like
it. He did like a
He
shimmy
did. He
with
shook
it.
it.
yeah, he was definitely all in
That
when
was
it came to
great.
that, and so yeah, I respect that, but I didn't find that funny past the initial scene of it. I thought the reaction was sort of like, oh, what they were going for, and then beyond that, though, I just was like, this is just, for me, this is going on too long. And it doesn't even bother me that the nudity aspect of it. It was just like, it's no longer funny.
Okay, speaking of going on too long.
Wait, no, one last thing about this. One last thing about the hanging scene. Okay,
all right.
The funniest part of that, I thought, was afterwards, when they're like, could you please put some pants on? And then he decides to hide in the closet. And they're like, we've been seeing your dick for the past 20 minutes. Why are you hiding now?
Yeah.
That, I thought, was really funny, because that was sort of unexpected. But all of a sudden, he's got modesty while he's standing there, flopping it around. So that I thought was really funny. But those are the parts that I like versus, the actual sort of gross out sort of aspects of it. That's just a personal preference. It doesn't necessarily mean this is a bad movie. It just means that it's not my movie anymore. Like I said, I think I might have enjoyed this a lot more back in high school.
What?
It's a bad movie.
No.
Oh yeah, this is garbage.
Amazing.
This is shit.
I loved it. I'm probably gonna watch it again later.
Okay, Neil McDonough. I don't know the character's name. Neil McDonough. Conrad. Okay, so the initial bad guy.
Oh, the blue-eyed.
Yeah, the blue-eyed, gray-haired gentleman.
Okay.
He storms the castle, right?
The Hans Gruber.
The Hans Gruber, yes. Yeah. Thank you. So you wouldn't get it because you didn't watch Die Hard. Yeah. Conrad storms the castle. He shoots the security guard. He secures the perimeter and all that stuff. But then he dies. Did anyone expect that? I didn't expect.
No, that I liked.
Yeah,
and
I
that I
didn't
liked.
expect that. I
Really?
thought that was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Did you?
I thought it was okay, but I didn't like who they replaced the bad guy with.
Like the guy, the butler that was
The
bad
butler,
the whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah. I didn't. He wasn't a good.
His character was a
maybe if there was a role reversal or something.
Yeah, maybe. He didn't seem that evil, just mostly because he had an accent.
He was a disgruntled employee, really.
Yeah, kind
you know what
of.
I mean? And
he was. He was
I almost sympathized with up until he killed the dog.
Yeah.
I almost sympathized with him because it was like, yeah, you put this guy through hell for your amusement and the amusement of all these other
but
people.
He didn't even do anything that bad to him.
He made him
ass. Lots of people
with
do
crabs
that.
and everything like that. And it's
Yeah,
like,
but he didn't.
He had it in
probably
his
didn't know
beard.
crabs.
He went through humiliation. It was a big deal to him.
People
It was a big deal to
do
him.
that on purpose.
Oh yes. Oh, good times. Anyway,
there is so much talk about eating ass in this movie. It's
There
just like
is so much
because
Also,
there's not just one reference to it in the
no,
movie. There's several.
lots. And when he's talking about fucking the hyena with the fleshlight, nobody laughed at that. I laughed.
No.
with the fleshlight.
You know what? I'm starting to
I
think you
missed
guys
this
don't
part.
get out enough. That's what I'm starting to think.
Okay,
At least not to the same places where you used to go.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think I have. Who do you think is the smart one of the three? Of the three main characters that I do not like, which one do you think is the smartest one?
You gotta stop leading with that, Steve.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think.
I gotta be honest with you, because I like you.
Well, okay. Well, so Anders, his guy Darren, he was like the idea man, right?
Yes.
And he's also like that in Workaholics, which is why I thought that this was so great that they sort of stayed true to like the characters that they've been. We can argue about this later.
Again, I haven't
feel
seen
like
Workaholics.
I feel
We can argue about the
watch
movie
it.
when we're not doing a movie
Right.
podcast.
So I thought that Darren was like the idea guy, right?
Right.
Like he had the ideas, and then Blake,
The engineer, more like the analytical.
yeah, he was like I don't remember, like Baby Dunk. What else? What was his
Baby
other
Dunk
name?
was
Joel.
Joel.
Okay.
So in the movie, he was like he did the drawing of the Skintendo suit, right?
Yeah.
And then
He also
Alex,
designed the way to get everybody high in that
he
room.
did,
Yeah.
and then Alex was sort of the hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, it was explained that he was supposed to be sort of like the hype man. But at the time, I'm just like, he's just the guy that tells him, think of something, and
Yeah.
you implement it. And I'll
Yeah.
just stand here and...
So, okay, I have a question for that was my question for both of you.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think out of the three of them, who would your character, like, who would you have been in that movie?
Darren?
Is that because you're no fun?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Darren without the really inopportunely timed drug habit.
No,
Yeah, I actually had to Google salvia because I did not know what
No
that
idea.
was. I was
No.
like, this is a new children's thing. I don't know what this is. So
I haven't
Google it.
Googled it. Enlighten me.
It's like apparently it's like an offspring of like sage, and you get high from like smoking it, and it makes you very like ethereal. I think
So it's really that sort of spaced out, because that wasn't sort of like
super spaced out.
Yeah,
And
not like mellow, but really he was just sort of like
you're
out of
almost
it
like hallucinating, and you kind of can't make sense of reality.
I like that you looked that up, because I just assumed it was a made-up drug. I thought it was supposed to be some sort of cross between marijuana with like PCP. And not that I'm a drug expert or anything like that. I'm just saying, it's just given his reaction to it, that's what I thought. So
they compared it to ketamine, and that's like a cat tranquilizer. So Sherry would know.
Don't bring my wife into this.
I looked up salvia, and it's like, you smoke it and you just like, I think it's a quick high, but I think you get pretty fucked up pretty quickly.
You might want to mention, because of your wife works with a vet, not
that she's a drug dealer.
She's
not a drug dealer. Your wife is not a drug dealer.
Now if you had left it as a mystery, it would have been funny. Could have been more funny. I don't know. I love you, Sherry.
We love you. Thank you.
Okay.
So which one would you be, Steve?
Oh, you're gonna make me answer this. I guess I'm the closest to Joel, because I'm a genius.
Wow. Oh, okay. This is your podcast. You can be whoever you want.
You're going to pat me on the head or something, aren't you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because Joel seems to be the smartest guy in the room. And I don't know. And you ask me a dumb question. I'm sorry.
He's really upset you made him watch this movie.
I didn't like it. And here I thought I picked a good one, because I was like, well, I've heard it's like Die Hard, so, you know.
Did you answer the question?
I feel
Alex?
like I'd be Alex. I'm the hype man.
Hey, wow, that's a complete set.
I don't have good ideas ever, but I'm very excited about stuff. So I'm on it.
I don't see you as Alex.
I don't.
Because I see Alex as someone who wants all the rewards of hard work without doing any of the hard work.
Yes.
Whereas you, I'm not just doing this. I'm not just doing this to like to be your hype man or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I find that you do the hard work and don't necessarily expect the immediate results like Alex. So I find you actually the opposite of Alex. I think you enjoy his character the most.
Maybe I have the enthusiasm of Alex.
Yes, because you definitely do. But you're the hype man the way the hype man should be, who's also there, who's willing to get your hands dirty and actually get in there and do it.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest things I dislike about Alex. Aside from all the stuff, we're not even just being selfish, though there is that. It's the fact that he wants the trappings of success without ever working towards success. And success is a lot of the time. I mean, sometimes it's super easy, and I think that's why he likes the Awadi character, because the Awadi character to me is sort of representation of someone who
was born into it,
and then doesn't have to work at it, and it's like but he's insane,
influencer that doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Who's just who's just it's a good looking plate with nothing on it.
I know.
So, but yet so many people just are clamoring to eat off of it.
Wow.
I hear you.
Whew. Okay. You're very
I'm trying to bring
about
depth.
This movie,
I'm trying
guys.
to bring depth to this movie. Which
should we into the trivia? Maybe that'll spark more questions. Or did you ask your question?
I have not asked my question.
Ask your question.
I guess we sort of alluded to it a little bit. And that's, do you find, which I thought was do you find simply shock value to equal funny a lot of the time? Because, like I said, there's gross out humor, which I consider to be sort of like a form of shock value. Things that aren't necessarily, because for me, comedy is instead of going from A, B to C, it's like A, B to pineapple. You're not supposed to see the last thing coming. One of my favorite comedians, especially right now, is Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, I love him.
Yes, because he paints a path, and then where he takes you at the very end, because he does a lot of one-liner stuff, and as well too, he's dark, and he's not, he's certainly not politically correct a lot of the time.
I have seen him. Okay,
but that's the type of surprising that I really, really like, and I find that it took the shortcut from A, B to pineapple, if that makes any sense. So do you find that that is inherently funny. Because once again, when I watch something like this, there's always funny bits. I always find funny bits in almost every comedy. And I'm pretty sure back in the day I would have loved this movie. But I'm not judging anyone who does love this movie because people have different tastes.
Because she's sitting right here.
No. But
why.
is that something that is like, it could be me. Like there's like Seinfeld, the show Seinfeld. I hated that show, but everyone else I know loves that show.
I never watched it.
Oh, see, there we go. So
I liked it very much.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
So for me, it's
I
like
didn't
there might be
find-
something wrong with me when it comes to that type. And I not to go deep into my own life or anything, but you know the movie, was it Step Brothers?
Yes.
Okay, there's a scene in there where they rob their genitals on drum kits.
Yes.
Right. And I was watching that movie with someone who I was going out with at the time, and I remember she thought it was the funniest. It was the same sort of thing. We had to pause the movie because she could not stop laughing.
Really?
And I'm just like, they're just rubbing their testicles on drum kit. I'm not like, I didn't find that to be extremely funny,
guess
but
maybe
that's a flaw in me.
testicles and you don't think they're as funny as we think they
And
are.
I've rubbed them on a lot of drum kits in my time. It really stopped. It's me.
You're numb to it.
That's just
Like,
Tuesday. It's not like a funny part of the
do.
movie. So that's none of that's true.
what I do.
So I was just wondering, like, is that? Do you?
There's nothing wrong.
What do you equate to be like? What do you think? What do you feel is a better way of phrasing it? My own question is, what do you feel makes a successful comedic punchline, or do you need for comedy? Is it just one type of thing, or is it really just like, can you pretty much end any sort of scene where the camera pans to the guy and the guy's completely naked, or girl, or whatever like that? Like, is that, or do you need something?
I can appreciate a lot of different kinds of comedy.
Yeah,
like
same.
for example, like if I were to lean over to you right now, very slowly with my tongue out, and then
Please do that.
lick your face. see, there would be no misdirection there. There would be no AB pineapple, right?
Did you hear that?
I did.
Oh my
I did.
goodness.
Don't worry. It's
Okay.
my horrible children. Anyway, there would be no AB pineapple, right? There'd be like, this is exactly what it looks like, and this is exactly what happened, and it would be hilarious. But you wouldn't find it hilarious because it would, because you're being licked, and because if you're watching, it would be there's a lot of
You
different
see it
kinds.
coming a mile away.
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good kinds of humor. Like, there's a lot of... I think we're all pretty silly in the fact that there's a lot of different things that make us laugh.
Yeah.
Hi. Like this cat.
I don't know.
And the thing is,
a good
Like, I
question.
don't think
I know
this
we've
whole
all
movie
found the
was
same things
gross out
funny because we've all
humor.
had laughs together
We
Yeah.
have.
in the times that we known each other.
But, so you did laugh through the movie, obviously.
Yeah, there were parts, but there's, like I said, there's parts in. It has to be like an incredibly bad comedy for me not to find a thing funny, because there's usually like the trailer moments, because they usually put some of the best things in the trailer.
Yes.
But yeah, I did find certain things funny. But like I said, I found the autoerotic scene or asphyxiation scene funny at the end when all of a sudden he became modest after whipping it around forever.
Yeah, because that was totally unexpected, right?
I need a friend.
So like a cat coming up and hugging
Oh
Brittany.
my
Are
God,
you
Kate.
going to hear this in the microphone?
No, it'll be fine. I'm
Hello, kitten. Oh my
I have another question.
God.
Okay.
Do you remember seeing Steve-O in the movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve-O and Chris Pontius were both in there.
Mhm.
You can't
Why is, because this is an IMDb list of actors first build only, right? So why is Steve-O listed before Utkarsh Ambudkar?
I don't know. Also, who was Flying Lotus?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
who
recognize a
Flying
few of
Lotus
the
was.
self ones. And there's a few in here where like Joel McHale
Yeah.
was in the movie and he
He
never
was
got
in
any
there.
sort of billing.
I think if you're gonna
Oh,
eat
that's
a
right,
butt,
he's not on
my
there.
point is, if you're gonna pretend to eat a butt, you should get much higher in the
Well, who's...
list of actors.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree.
Is this-
Where did you pull this off of?
Most of it from IMDb.
Oh,
This
that's
this
weird.
section right here is from Wikipedia.
And it's not based on this. I'm not trying to
Oh, yeah.
say anything, but this isn't based on, because sometimes it goes by order of appearance, right?
Yes,
like past
yes,
a
it
certain
does,
point.
yeah.
But this is not. This is basically who gets top billing in this.
Yeah.
It could also just be a contractual thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Like there's usually so many things where it's like if someone's going to be in the movie, they have to make sure that they're above the cut of X number of people in the credits and stuff. So that's why a lot of the time
weird.
at the end of the credit you'll see like with so and so, because with is technically more important than being earlier in the
Is
billing, even though
that
it's at the
why
very
they do
end.
that? I
Yeah.
didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rules.
Featuring with and all
Yeah.
those other things. So, but yeah, I would definitely think that the guy who played Awadi should definitely get higher billing. He should be like, 6th from the top, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially after the work that he put in to do this movie. So.
The obvious
Also,
work.
why
Appreciated work.
So if that's the case too, that Chloe Bridges as Diana, she was literally only in the beginning fucking scene of like that whole movie. That was the girl who was with the guy who had the condoms in the room.
Oh yes, really?
Did you guys not laugh at that part? The
No.
condom?
They were playing with condoms. That was gross.
I was screaming. I was laughing.
Ages ago,
I think we have different.
when I was younger, I had to clean up after someone decided to have sex in our utility closet.
What?
And then we found used condoms. And that place was nasty. We didn't like even going in there to get our mops and brooms.
Was
I
this,
couldn't
like,
imagine
in
someone.
your house?
No. This was in the place that I used to clean. I used to clean at a social hall. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Okay.
So that I was like, nope, no, didn't find that funny. Didn't find that interesting or funny. And
anyways, that girl, that's the only scene that she was in. I don't.
So this may be.
I don't even know why
appearance.
she's on this.
This may be in order of appearance because they would have shown up first as they were walking down the hall, and then the next ones to enter would have been the stud and then her. So this is the order of appearance.
This could be order of appearance.
So that answers your questions why Steve-O got higher billing.
No, but
No, because they showed
Steve-O
Steve-O just to shoot him.
Yeah.
And so they were.
Unless there was a pan shot of the crowd, because he doesn't show up until they start walking through the crowd. And remember, the one guy from Scrubs was also talking about meeting him, and you hadn't even seen who this guy was first. So it's entirely possible that's why he got.
See, this is why I have you on the podcast.
I know. Ed's so smart.
He's very smart.
That's why I'm like Darren.
Without the drug problem. Without the drug problem.
Yeah.
Let's get into this trivia. It could spark some more conversation. Okay. The title of the film is a reference to the line, "Game over, man, game over," spoken by Bill Paxton, R.I.P., character Private Hudson in Aliens. So,
actually
it
don't
seems
remember
really out of
that
left
part.
field. What?
Bill Paxton died?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, man.
I did not know that.
Sorry,
He was
2017.
young, too, wasn't he?
18.
Relatively young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he wasn't an old guy.
Wow, you're right. That did spark conversation. That's kind of conversation.
Wow, poor Ed. He's just gonna cry now.
That's rough.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ed. Sorry, Steve had to break this news to you.
Did this
What a
happen
bad friend you
before
have.
or during when he was doing Big Love? Because I remember that his career started to climb again after that, right?
He wasn't starring in it while he was dead. So. No, I think
Wow, that went to a dark place.
They didn't weekend at
Wow.
Bernie's the guy. I'm just saying, did they have to write that into the show, or was that did
I
this
actually
happen
don't
after?
know what show you're talking about.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know either.
Okay.
I'm really bad at shows.
It's okay. I haven't seen this movie, this show that you guys keep bringing up.
Workaholics.
I know. Who's got the next one?
Oh,
Do you want to do it or me?
you can do it.
The Dude Crew reference, Kevin McAllister. The Dude Crew reference Kevin McAllister in their zip tie zip line plan. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me run that back. The Dude Crew reference Kevin McAllister in their zip tie zip line plan. Daniel Stern, who plays Mitch in the movie, also starred in Home Alone franchise with the character Kevin McAllister.
It's a true story. And Daniel Stern is the dude that had his penis cut off.
Yes.
Or the mean hotel boss. You could call him that too.
Yeah, he was really weird
He was
character.
weird, and he sort of deserved what he got. You know what I mean?
This is another thing, and once again, not to dive too deep in this movie, because it's a screwball comedy, right? So it's supposed to be a screwball. I really can't stand characters that get written like people that would never actually be able to keep their jobs anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
I guess you've never been a woman in the working world, maybe. That's not super unrealistic.
Oh my god!
It's really not.
Maybe it's just because, especially now, it seems like
times are a changing.
Yeah.
Fucking
But
Bill
I can't-
Paxton
but
is gone.
it-
There's a movement of women being able to do things for ourselves.
But doesn't it seem like that guy? Like, how did that guy keep his job up until that point?
I
And
can
then
ask
all of a
that
sudden she's
about
like, "What if
many-
I report you to head office?" And then all of a sudden, has that
Yeah.
never came up before?
Maybe yeah. She finally got her gusto at the end of the movie and put him in his place.
This was a growing moment for her. Maybe she is the only likable character.
And for anyone to mysteriously somehow not have been killed, that's the guy that somehow survives?
Yeah, I didn't think he would die just from getting his dick cut off, because I feel like that's happened to people. Like,
John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah, that guy. Adam Devine and Bay. I don't want to pronounce it.
Bootkarsh.
Okay, well, they worked together in Pitch Perfect. Both were part of the Troublemakers. Also, they Bootkarsh. I'm totally butchering his name. He was in Mindy Project, like I said, and Anders was also in Mindy Project. He played Mindy's boyfriend for a season, I think. So I'm assuming they maybe met on that, because that would have came out way before Pitch Perfect.
I never realized that was the same guy from Pitch Perfect, because I know which character they're talking about. He basically did sort of like a lot of the beatboxing stuff in Pitch Perfect. Yeah. And I didn't realize that was the same guy until just now. Wow! This trivia is amazing!
This is amazing!
I've learned about Bill Paxton, and I've learned that's the guy from... And it's so bizarre, because I was like, I thought I recognized the guy, but...
Yeah, that's him. I feel like these guys just know so many people. And they're probably really easy to get along with, because it seems like people seem to be jumping at the opportunity to work with them.
Oh yeah, there was. Oh, who was it? There was an interview he did on a web show called Hot Ones. I don't know if you've seen it, where they eat spicy chicken wings.
I haven't seen any of them.
So Adam Devine was on there, and he was talking about, like, because he mentioned, like, the interviewer was mentioning how you've had so many people cameo, and like people have like requested to be on the show, and I can't remember who it was now, but there was a huge name, and he really wanted to be on the show, and they just couldn't fit him in on the show. But yeah, it was something. I'm not saying this for sure, but I think it was someone either like Keanu Reeves or Woody Harrelson or someone like that, like someone who really wanted to be on the show, and they just couldn't make it work. But yeah, there was people requesting to be on that show. And that's why I think they were able to get some of the celebrities in this show, even if there was just for a couple minutes, because it's like Friends and stuff. Like a lot of the times when people have these, which I'm like, I agree with you that this is probably a very personal project to them.
I think so.
I think when people get something like this to actually become a reality, they tap into friends and stuff, like in the industry, to sort of help them, just for small roles and cameos and stuff like that. And that's what, every time I saw someone I recognized, that sort of like smacked me. It was like, there's someone who's like, we'll do it probably for next to nothing. Yeah. Probably what they call it on scale or whatever like that. Yeah. So
as long as it's close to my house.
And that's why I really wanted to like this movie more than I did.
Oh, I'm sad that you guys didn't like it that much. I love it. I think you could probably give me anything that any of these three guys did, and I'd probably love it just because I really like them. Yeah. So,
have you seen? Can I do an? Okay. Have you seen? Was it the Boy Scout? Was it the zombie movie with the Boy Scouts? What is it called? Yes.
Something about zombie apocalypse. Something.
Yes. Boy Scouts versus the zombie apocalypse, or something like that, right? Yeah. Blake Anderson has that cameo at the beginning.
Yes.
Where that is probably one of the funniest scenes, and there's a lot of funny scenes in that movie. But he owned that scene. He was only in it for like just 3 minutes. And I love that. That's why
he's really good.
So I do agree with you. Almost anything with these actors in it, I think I would absolutely love.
I would watch whatever they did, because I
haven't seen or heard about that movie.
What? It's good.
Great.
We can do that.
If I'm ever allowed back on the podcast, that might be my pick. Yeah.
We're not getting.
You don't get another pick for a while. I guess go around for 3.
Wow. All right. So the woman.
Oh, okay.
The woman that makes out with the guy in the beginning of the film, as the guys are cleaning up the room, is Chloe Bridges. Yeah. Who is the girlfriend of Adam Devine in real life? Oh, that's nice.
I wonder if that's where they met, maybe, or. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Is that why she's listed so fucking high on this list of
I think it's order of appearance.
It's possible. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, Adam Devine's name is all over this, right? So maybe he did have some say.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Is that game over, man? Is that game over?
I'm ready for the sequel.
You're ready for the sequel?
I'm ready.
I'm ready to...
Or I'm ready to just watch it again.
Game overboard, man, right? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
At the very end, they tease the sequel.
Blake's hair was amazing.
Blake?
Remember?
Oh, yeah. I've never seen it straight before. I've never seen it straight before.
I don't think he has either.
No.
It's like, it was very straight. Oh, boy. Okay. I don't know if I have more.
All right. Be sure to check out primarycritical.com. We got all our podcasts there. Sure, why not?
Wow.
I don't know.
Just cut off. Just like that. He's like, you guys are done. Get out.
We're all coming up on an hour. Okay, we have to cut.
Wow.
It.
Ed really talks a lot.
Yeah.
Most of our podcasts are only a half hour. Did anyone else have anything else to say?
I'm just sad that you guys didn't like it as much as I did. I thought I had a real winner.
Okay.
Because I love this movie. And I just assume that if I like something, everybody has to like it.
Well, that's, yeah.
We mentioned this actually before before we started recording. I think it was before we started recording. But after watching the movie, because I thought this was your pick, I was going to text, because we were in a sort of a text chain together talking about like doing the podcast. And then I was simply going to text you the question, why? And then that's when you were like, oh, that was my pick. And I was like, oh, no, because I thought you might like the movie as well, too. So I'm like, I'm going to be the only one on this side of the fence. But it's nice to know that we're ganging up on Brittany the entire time.
Yeah,
so.
it's nice.
I do feel bad because I feel like we ganged up on you.
You should feel bad.
Yeah.
No. It's okay. I pick on you guys enough. That's fine.
That's okay.
I'll take it.
What is it? Good, bad, new, old, weird, or gross. We pass judgment on them all, no matter what movie it is, right?
That's true.
That's right.
You should put gross in bold for this one.
Even that
So,
gross.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but Brittany and Ed are quite new to the show. Do you guys have anything you'd like to pimp out?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, is there anything I want to add? Like the fact that you've had a podcast for years and you've only now just let us come on because I forced my way on. Also, he spelled my name wrong.
I did. It was autocorrected wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I started off wrong, and then it corrected it another wrong.
In 15 years, I'm still going to remember this. I hope you know that.
So I'm guessing you don't have anything you want to pimp out at the moment.
No.
No. Okay, Ed?
I have a YouTube channel called BrainPulpTV where I, along with Steve and friend Travis and Brittany's going to be coming soon, play tabletop games. A little bit of Magic the Gathering, Dungeons & Dragons coming by the end of the year, hopefully. And as well, too, I'm going to be announcing a streaming schedule soon that I'll be streaming on YouTube and Twitch. That's pretty much it. So if you want to check it out, BrainPulpTV on YouTube. On Twitter, at BrainPulpTV.
Very good.
Really good.
Very good.
Like
Thank you.
Check out the description down below if you have any questions about the links or all that stuff. I'll try and make sure it's all there. I go through a routine and then I know. Oh wait, I promised I was going to do.
Are you going to spell Brittany's name correctly in the description?
Yes.
Or are you going to spell like you spelled it on the sheet that no one can see here?
Wow.
Hi.
I'm just like, I'm not even mad. I'm just really disappointed.
And he's known you
Very
longer than he's known me.
Yeah,
He spelled my name
this
right.
cut deep. This cut really deep. And I don't know how to feel right now. I'm sad that you spelled my name wrong and you didn't like my amazing movie pick.
Next week, Monday at noon, we're covering movie 43. Now, this is the third time I have promised that we were going to cover movie 43. And I've lied twice. And this is my third time, and I'm not lying this time. For sure.
You know what would be awesome?
What?
Is if you do this 40 more times.
Oh, please do.
42 more times?
40 no, because you said it's the third time you've said it, right? So now you're at 3. Your encounter is
yes.
3 of promising and not showing up. So 40 more times, and you it's like a tie-in with the movie. I'm not telling. No, sorry. I'm not trying to produce. I'm not trying to produce. Sorry.
It's so good. John, Phil, and myself will be covering that movie, and at this time for sure. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week. That's it.
That's great.
That's what you call a podcast.
Primarily critical.